Hello and welcome to episode number 241 of WITM. I'm using a different microphone than I usually use, so we'll see if that makes the sound quality any better or worse. Anyways, it is time for SmackDown Live, the Go Home SmackDown Live before SummerSlam. And unfortunately, Dalton Roush is not going to be in action. He is, however, in the ring, microphone in hand. Let's hear what he has to say. Dalton speaks. A few months ago, when I came to SmackDown Live, I came to become the face of SmackDown. Yet the powers that be constantly try to prevent that from happening, and I won't stand for it anymore. For nearly a month, I dominated all of my competition and was the number one contender to the United States title. So when Battleground came around, what happened? I was placed in a meaningless non-title triple threat match. So on SmackDown, I stated my case, and I finally got a United States title match against three other men in a fatal four-way. I am the premier talent, and yet, 5 days away from SummerSlam, the biggest draw that this company has does not have a SummerSlam match. That better change real fast, or I can easily go back to Hollywood. At least there, they know how to treat a superstar. Daniel speaks. Dalton, you've been getting. You've been. Oh, wow, I can't speak today. Dalton, you've been getting given. Wow, why can I not say that sentence? Dalton, you've been given plenty of opportunities here. Have you forgotten that in your very first WWE match, you got a chance to become the WWE champion? Or how, because of your popularity before arriving in WWE, we allowed you to come straight to the main roster instead of starting in NXT? Frankly, I'm getting sick of you thinking that you're owed whatever you desire simply because you've starred in a few movies. Now, according to the powers that be, there's nothing I can do about that personally. But there's someone else who can. Your opponent at SummerSlam, the SmackDown COO, Shane McMahon. And that match will be a tables match. Should you win, I will grant you a one-on-one US title match with Dean Ambrose on SmackDown next week. Dalton responds. I should be getting that one-on-one match tonight, or even better, at SummerSlam. But you know what? I can't wait to put Shane through a table at SummerSlam. Alright, so we have our first confirmed matchup for SummerSlam. Dalton Roush believes that he should be the star of SmackDown Live, taking the place that Corey had before he was demoted to NXT. He feels that he hasn't been treated fairly. Shane and Daniel Bryan disagree, and Shane McMahon is going to address Dalton personally in the ring at SummerSlam when they face off in a SummerSlam tables match. Should Dalton win, he will get a one-on-one U.S. title opportunity that he desires against the U.S. champion Dean Ambrose. And so we will sim this card for SmackDown Live, get those results, and see how they affect the rankings on SmackDown Live, and should give us a clearer picture as to what to expect on SmackDown Live side of things come SummerSlam. The Hardy Boys defeat the Club in non-title action. Jinder Mahal defeats Sin Cara. Charlotte defeats Tamina in non-title action. Becky Lynch defeats Alexa Bliss. Mickie James defeats Natalya. We have lots of women's action on this card. Triple Crown WWE Universal and United States Champion Dean Ambrose defeats Chris Jericho. And Seth Rollins in triple threat action defeats Roman Reigns. AJ Styles takes a no decision. And we'll see how those results affect the rankings on SmackDown Live. Starting with the SmackDown women. Charlotte defeated Tamina. Charlotte is champion, and Tamina falls to number 6. However, Alexa lost as well, so Billie Kay is going to get 2 free spots up despite getting a week off, moving to number 5. Becky Lynch defeats Alexa Bliss. Becky moves to number 3. Alexa reigns at the bottom, number 7. Mickie James defeated Natalya. Mickie remains number 1 contender. And Billie Kay is going to get a 3rd free spot to number 4. Natalya falls to number 5. And the top 5 contenders to SmackDown Women's Championship, held by Charlotte, are number 1, Mickie James. Number 2, Sasha Banks. Number 3, Becky Lynch. Number 4, Billie Kay. And number 5, Natalya. And now the SmackDown Tag Team division. The Hardy Boys defeated the Club. The Club falls to number 4, which means the Ascension moves up to number 3. And the top 5 contenders to the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, held by the Hardy Boys, are number 1, the Colognes. Number 2, Beauty and the Man Beast. Number 3, the Ascension. Number 4, the Club. And number 5, Titus Worldwide. And now the U.S. title rankings. Jinder Mahal defeated Sin Cara. That means Jinder Mahal becomes the new number 1 contender. Sin Cara falls to number 12. Dean Ambrose defeated Chris Jericho. Ambrose is champion. And Jericho remains at the bottom, number 13. Seth Rollins defeated Roman Reigns. No decision for AJ Styles. Rollins is not in these rankings. Reigns falls to number 9. And Styles remains at number 10. And the top 5 contenders to the United States Championship held by Dean Ambrose are number 1, Jinder Mahal, number 2, Dolph Ziggler, number 3, Apollo Crews, number 4, Dalton Roush, number 5, John Cena. But of course, as we noted earlier, if Dalton defeats Shane McMahon at SummerSlam in a tables match, he will get the next opportunity one-on-one against Dean Ambrose next week on SmackDown, as he was number 1 contender for most of the month before Battleground, and believes that he unfairly was not given a one-on-one opportunity that he feels he deserved, and he definitely has a case there. In the WWE Championship rankings, Dean Ambrose defeated Chris Jericho. Ambrose is champion, and Jericho falls to number 6. Rollins defeated Roman Reigns and AJ Styles. Rollins remains the number 1 contender. Reigns falls to number 5, and Styles gets a no decision, but does move up a spot to number 4. And the top 5 contenders to the WWE Championship held by Dean Ambrose are number 1, Seth Rollins, number 2, John Cena, number 3, Dolph Ziggler, number 4, AJ Styles, and number 5, Roman Reigns. Dalton Roush currently sits at number 7. And now we move on to NXT. Corey will be in action for the 3rd time since joining NXT. He's going to be taking on the United Kingdom champion Tyler Bate. But before that, we have another promo. It's time to say farewell to the former NXT champion and former NXT Tag Team champion, as well as former trainer for NXT, Andrew. Remember, he surrendered 2 Universal Championships and a main event level spot on the Monday Night Raw roster in order to remain Cruiserweight champion at the time and be part of 205 Live, as well as compete on NXT. Andrew's tenure with NXT ended at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn in the previous episode, or the episode before the previous one, which saw Cassius Ohno become the new NXT champion, and because of the new rules where 205 Live talents are exclusive to 205 Live's roster, Andrew no longer will be wrestling on NXT, and so tonight he says his farewell to NXT. Speaking first is WWE COO Triple H. Let's hear what he has to say regarding Andrew's farewell to NXT.
Behold the King of Kings. On your knees, dog.
Triple H speaks. About a year ago, I had a meeting with the WWE Board of Directors. 205 Live had just been launched, and was decided that 205 Live's talents would no longer compete for Raw and SmackDown outside of Cruiserweight matches, but were permitted to wrestle in NXT as well at the time. Now, that ruling did make sense, but it also presented a bit of a problem, because our current Cruiserweight champion at the time, Andrew, had just become the Universal Champion on Raw. And so, I had the tough task of presenting Andrew with an ultimatum. He could surrender the Universal Championship and remain Cruiserweight Champion on 205 Live, as well as compete on NXT. Or he could surrender the Cruiserweight Championship and maintain his main event level status on Raw and continue his Universal Championship reign. Now, to most, that would be a no-brainer. Excuse me, allergies. Anyways, to most that would be a no-brainer. Surrender the Cruiserweight title and continue to compete on the flagship show. But Andrew has always had a different kind of mindset. Since Andrew first stepped foot in the WWE, his number one goal, even higher than winning titles, competing at SummerSlam and WrestleMania, and making the most money, has been actively making sure the future of this business was made better by his presence. I can say with confidence that that has indeed been the case. Andrew surrendered the Universal Championship, and since then has worked tirelessly on NXT and 205 Live, ensuring that NXT talents and cruiserweights have bright futures in this company. In a typical week, Andrew would be backstage on Raw, on 205 Live, on NXT, if there was one that week, at pay-per-view, and wrestling at both NXT and Raw live events, as well as training talent at the Performance Center. I didn't know how he did it, but he always did it all with a smile on his face, because he knew everything he did brightened the future of the WWE. I think it's safe to say that even after Andrew hangs up his wrestling boots one final time, he will always have a place in this company for as long as he desires. Sorry, a bit of a cough today. So now, without further ado, allow me to introduce to the NXT ring one final time former NXT champion, former NXT Tag Team champion, and 205 Live general manager, Andrew. Andrew speaks, and these are his own words. I would like everyone to know that tonight is going to be the last time you will ever see me in an NXT ring. I've done everything that I needed to do here. Some would say, Andrew, you are a cruiserweight. Why would you even care about what's going on in NXT? Well, it's so simple that even a 6-year-old could put it together. NXT is the future of this company. Raw, SmackDown, and even some 205 Live wrestlers have come from NXT. I came here to do my part to make sure WWE can move forward. Excuse me, I don't know why I have such a bad cough all of a sudden. I came here to do my part to make sure WWE can move forward. But I do have some exciting news regarding 205 Live. I am working around the clock, listening to what cruiserweights the fans want to see come to 205 Live. And with that said, I am off. Corey's former tag team partner, fellow Purity Society member, and managed talent, and his best friend, Corey, has made his way to the ring. Corey speaks. Andrew, you didn't think I'd let you leave without saying goodbye, did you? Andrew, it's no secret we've had our ups and downs. At times we've been the best of friends, and we've also been the worst of enemies. But tonight is likely the last night that you and I will ever stand together inside of a WWE ring. Now, for our entire career, I've had people constantly remind me that I would be nowhere without you. And most of the time, I let that embarrass me. And I took that as people thinking that I'm not good enough to be here. But now I realize it is true. Without Andrew, there would be no Corey. Thank you, Andrew, for everything you've done for me and my career. In a way, I'm happy that I got to come to NXT, because I got to watch firsthand just how dedicated you are to building the future of the WWE, and how much joy that gives you. So, for one last time in an NXT ring, NXT Universe, let's give a round of applause for the straight edge vegan, the hardcore icon, and Mr. Stamina, Andrew. And Corey and Andrew hug in the ring, and for one last time, the NXT Universe gives their former champion a round of applause. Alright, so it is the end of an era. Andrew, no longer a part of NXT. That also means, as Corey mentioned, that that with Andrew exclusive 205 Live, Corey and Andrew will likely no longer be in a wrestling match together. Corey and Andrew came up through the independents together. In first, before the time of WITM, and a tag team called the Eliminators. And then when Andrew became a vegetarian and then a vegan, Andrew formed the Purity Society alongside Austin Aries, CM Punk, The Great Khali, and Daniel Bryan. Corey would split off and form his own version of the Eliminators to battle Andrew's Purity Society. Eventually, Andrew would get signed by the WWE. He said he would not sign unless Corey could be brought along as well. And Corey was only brought along because Andrew insisted on it. And of course, Corey and Andrew were together in the Purity Society and ECW. Shortly after that, Corey began to resent Andrew once he began to struggle on SmackDown. They faced off at WrestleMania, in which Andrew won, causing Corey to surrender his WWE Championship and come to NXT. Andrew took it upon himself personally to make sure that Corey is able to go back to the main roster, and with Andrew at his side, Corey was. And now, The era of Corey and Andrew being in the same brand, in the same ring, is no more. Andrew will be 205 Live GM, seeking out new talents as well as participating in the Cruiserweight division. And Corey, of course, on NXT, looking to capture the NXT Championship, previously held by Andrew, avenge Andrew by being the man to defeat Cassius Ohno for the NXT title and make his way back to the main roster. That quest begins tonight with a rematch with Tyler Bate. And we'll start off NXT. We will have to watch the intro package because we started the show with NXT. So let's do that now.
Somebody let me out, I'm about to face on the rage. I'm piecing the plays together while y'all sleep on the way. That I keep on it 24/7, I'll sleep in the grave. And you can...
Alright, so let's get this NXT kicked off. Drew McIntyre defeats Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, former tag team partners together in hashtag DIY, now enemies. The Singh brothers defeat Breezango. Trent Seven defeats Ty Dillinger. Oni Lorcan defeated Roderick Strong. Angelo Dawkins and Hideo Itami in a fatal four-way. The new NXT Women's Champion defeated the former NXT Women's Champion, Alicia Fox, in non-title action. That match was a Falls Count Anywhere match. And now here we go with our in-ring action for what will be a lengthy episode 241. Corey, for the third time since joining NXT, is going to take on the United Kingdom Champion, Tyler Bate. The last time these two met up, there was a bit of controversy as Andrew, in his last matchup, standing ringside with Corey, would distract the referee while Tyler Bate, and that likely would have resulted in a victory for Tyler Bate. But Andrew distracted the referee. By the time the referee turned around, Corey powered out of the pin, and Corey would go on to win that matchup. But now there is no Andrew ringside. Corey must defeat Tyler Bate, would move him into the top 5 of the NXT Championship rankings. So here we go with our episode 241 matchup. Corey takes on United Kingdom Champion Tyler Bate.
Don't change the channel. We have singles action coming up.
No one's going to change any channel.
We have one of our breakout talents in a match for the record books.
Well, this should be a lot of fun. Let's watch.
I'll take it back, what's mine, I ain't giving in to what they tell me. Nah, I ain't listening. Can't I keep on it 24/7, I'll sleep in the grave. Ha! And you can bet that, cause if you're thinking for a minute that you're catching me slipping, you can forget that. It's probably obvious I came for the throne. Snatch the crown from your dome, now the king's come home. I'm taking back what's mine, I ain't giving in to what they tell me. Nah, I ain't listening. Can't deny I was made for this. Shove it back in the faces you say I'd miss. I'm taking back what's
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring. From London, England, weighing in at 175 pounds, the Undisputed Champion, Tyler Bate.
Oh, this match is going to be exciting. I can almost guarantee it. Only in WWE are you going to get action like we're about to see in this one.
I've had enough, it feels like I'm drowning. It's like a neck that's pulling me down. I must escape from this prison around me. Turn my life around. For the sake of it, it's not lonely. Every second counts when you're holding your breath. There's something in new direction.
This guy will show for nothing short of a very good night. With us geared up and ready to go tonight.
And here we go.
And here we go. We're all
We start off with a lockup as the
But make no
crowd
mistake about it,
pumped for
we're
this
gonna
matchup,
have a
chanting
winner.
NXT.
Yeah, and social media has been on
And the
fire ahead of
referee's
this
gonna
one.
break that
But now
up.
it's
No
time
cheap
to get down
shots.
to business.
Mano a mano.
Bate
One fall will
connects with a
decide.
kick to the
And you know
chest
what?
of Corey.
I would have it no other way.
And an arm drag. Corey's first victory as part of NXT would come against Tyler Bate. Get another victory over Tyler Bate, and what has turned to somewhat of a rivalry, propel Corey into the top 5 of the NXT rankings. Reversal by Corey, but a huge reversal and slam by Tyler Bate. Reversal by Corey, stomp to the arm, and mounted punches and a slam by Corey. Bate is going to roll the way. Corey will try to attack him out there, but Bate's already back to the ring.
He doesn't want to do this outside the ring.
Well, I don't blame him.
Kick by Corey and an arm drag. And a huge DDT. Forces Bate to his feet. Reversal by Tyler Bate. Reversal by Corey. And huge DDT by Corey.
I don't think he expected to be in this position here.
Stomp to the arm.
I don't think I've ever seen him look more motivated than he looked.
Mounted
heading
punches
into this
and
match.
slamming the head of Bate into the canvas. Now Corey comes off the ropes.
Really go either way.
And a leg drop evaded by Tyler Bate. But Corey waiting with a stomp and a kick to the back.
A move like that's low. It's appalling if you ask me.
And submission locked in. Vintage Corey here, crossface locked in.
Hey! And he fights out of it. He breaks the
We haven't seen Corey utilize that maneuver since before the time of WITM. And a variation of the Sister Abigail.
And that's
Connects,
the way he has to do if he
connects.
wants to win here
Stomp to the knee. Reversal by Bate. Dragged Corey closer to the ring. Elbow drop
We've seen that
connects.
from him before. I mean, it's definitely a first tonight.
This is great. This guy will try anything. Oh, wait, nice reversal.
Reversal by Corey. Stomp to the arm.
Here
Mounted
we go
punches.
again.
And slamming the head of Bate into the
Looks
canvas.
like he's in no man's land here. He needs to be able to put things back together here.
Reversal by
This
Bate.
is a dangerous position to be in. He needs to be able to find a way
Reversal
to
by
clear the
Corey.
cobwebs and regroup.
He's just playing
And a
with
DDT. Corey. Crossface locked in again.
There's the submission hold. He's in the driver's
Corey
seat
hoping
now.
going back to
Really going to work here.
his
Just
roots will
rips
help
you.
propel him into the top
Fights
5.
his way out.
Locked in well, but broken up by Bate.
Oh, man.
Kick to the stomach.
He's got him.
He's trying to mangle his face here.
And a bulldog. Stomp to the head.
We know
Elbow
he's tough,
straight
but
to
the
the
back of his
head.
head is starting to resemble a speed bag.
Yeah, punch after punch after punch.
After punch.
Oh, look at this. He's
And
hurt.
an
He's
elbow
hurt
drop.
bad.
This could be the end of him at any moment right now. Not so fast. This guy's a fighter.
Reversal by
Don't
Bate.
count him out just yet. Jeez, this
Stomp
is
to
not
the
a very good
back.
spot for him to be in right now, John.
And elbow
He's
drop.
gotta find a way to insert his dominance
And
back
Bate
into this
taking a
match.
bow and getting fired up.
That stop might have only
Kick to the
lasted
back
a
of
second,
Corey.
but it's gonna
Forces
be felt
Corey
tomorrow.
up.
That may be felt for a lifetime.
And
Look at the
Bate
eyes.
looking for a comeback sequence. If this is successful, it will score Bate a signature maneuver.
He's still going, Cole.
And it is successful.
When this guy's on, look out.
And Bate wasting no time utilizing that signature maneuver. Tilt-a-whirl slam. And now looking for a
Big move
finisher.
coming. Look out.
And that
He's got his
connects.
shoulders down, Cole. This could be it.
Bate goes for cover.
He's in
And Corey
full
powers out at
attack
2.
mode now. I don't
Bate
know
looking
how
to take
much more
flight.
damage he can take. No! Oh, what's he
And
gonna
Corey
do? Oh,
evades the diving elbow drop.
With this move.
Stomp to Bate. Forces Bate up.
Looking at it here.
Savior kick
Landing like a
connects.
ton of bricks. Look at this. He's just barely moving. I'm not sure. he can
Forces
get
Bate
back
on
to
his
feet.
stomach.
He was one
Reversal
step
by
ahead of
Bate
that
to
one.
take down Corey. Goes for cover.
Shoulders down. One. And there's the
Corey
kick
powers out at
And
2.
just in time. Nice.
What do you have to do to keep this guy down?
Corey avoids the knee to the back.
When his strikes land, you
High
can
kick
feel
to
it
the
in
head of
first
Bate.
few rows. Well,
And a
well,
DDT.
well. That's the first time tonight we've seen that move.
I wouldn't mind seeing it a little more often.
Corey
Oh,
getting
his
fired
body has
up.
to be broken right now.
And another one.
Stomp
I like
to
this.
force Bate back on the canvas. And several stomps.
He's
Now
centered in.
Corey looking for a scissor kick.
What a counter.
But
If he
Bate
keeps
catches
up
the
this
leg
pace,
and
this could
reverses
turn
into
real
a
ugly
slam.
real fast.
That may have ended the match, but Bate reverses into his own signature, the tilt-a-whirl slam.
Uh-oh, look at this. Trying to put him away. Hey now.
And he wheels his way out.
And the Cesaro swing. Lifting the near 300-pounder by his legs and swinging him around.
Midweek blues.
Goes for a cover,
He
center
thinks he
ring.
has it.
1, 2. You cannot teach the
And
type
Corey
of
powers out at
tenacity that
2.
we're witnessing
Tyler
here.
Bates
This is
in
unreal.
shock
I
and
don't know where he's
frustrated.
finding the strength to stay in this one.
Forces Corey up.
That move's
Forces
just
Corey
too
into
heavy.
his seated
This should've been
position.
over a while ago.
And
Come on,
rakes the
Roush.
eyes of
This should
Corey.
be over.
Reversal by Corey with elbow strikes. Corey tries a flying forearm, but
Nobody home?
very short
Looks
of
like the
Bate.
house has been empty for months.
Russian leg sweep. But Bate's low on stamina. Goes for a cover.
Could do it.
Maybe it.
Oh, and the kick
And
out
Corey
comes
powers
just
out
the
at
nick of
2.
time. I have no idea what's keeping this competitor going. It's simply amazing.
He's showing the
Bates
heart of a
again
warrior
attempting to
here
rake the
tonight.
eyes, but this time
Somehow,
Corey
he's kicking
reverses.
into another gear here tonight.
And Savior kick connects for a second time. Stomp to the elbow. There's another stomp. Mounted punches. Bust open Tyler Bate.
You do remember Wells, don't you? Michael?
Corey low on
Really,
stamina. Can he
Tennessee, so I get your
capitalize?
reference. You still use them.
Yeah, but I don't go there too many times.
He's looking at it.
And after taking a breather, looking for the scissor kick again. And this time it will connect.
Man, that should do it.
Finisher. This match might be
And
over.
no announcers, I'm not Booker T, but I will use the scissor kick. Does Corey go into the top 5? He does.
And you can put this
He gets his 3rd straight victory over Tyler Bate.
I've had enough, it feels like I'm drowning. It's like an echo that's pulling me down. I must escape from this prison around me. Turn my life around. I feel like it's sinking and it's not long left. Every second counts when you're holding your breath. I need something, a new direction. Turn my life around. Still, if I take control.
Here's your winner,
You got that right, partner. Again, huge win here tonight.
All I need is the strength to carry on. All I need is the strength to live my life.
All right, so Corey is 3-0 against Tyler Bate, and that victory will move him into the top 5 at least of the NXT title
Main event
rankings.
time, folks. Here we go. Singles match on tap next. We have one of the best talents on the roster to date versus a formidable opponent.
That match, still a long way to go before NXT TakeOver Houston. The next time the NXT Championship will be defended, but right now, Corey in pretty good shape to potentially get an NXT title shot at NXT TakeOver Houston against that man on your screen, Cassius Ohno, who defeated Eric Young in non-title action. The NXT Championship, of course, Corey's ticket back to the main roster. And once again, I managed to back out all the way to the main menu. Alright. And we'll get our results and rankings update for NXT. Starting with the NXT Women. NXT Women's Champion Ember Moon defeats the former champion Alicia Fox in non-title action. Fox falls to number 3. In the top 5 contenders, the NXT Women's Championship held by Ember Moon are number 1 Nikki Cross, number 2 Naomi, number 3 Alicia Fox, number 4 Peyton Royce, and number 5 Summer Rae. I need to go back into the results and see who took the fall in the multi-man matches. It was Johnny Gargano that took the fall in that triple threat. No decision for Johnny Gargano or Johnny Gargano took the fall, no decision for Tommaso Ciampa, rather. And in the Fatal 4-Way, Angelo Dawkins took the fall, no decision for Roderick Strong and Hideo Itami. Alright, and now we go to the NXT Tag Team Division rankings. The Singh Brothers defeated Breezango. They swapped spots. Singh Brothers to 2, Breezango to 3. In the top 4 contenders to the NXT Tag Team Championships held by Sanity are number 1, TM61, number 2, the Singh Brothers, number 3, Breezango, and number 4, Heavy Machinery. And now the NXT Championship rankings. Drew McIntyre defeated Johnny Gargano, no decision for Tommaso Ciampa. McIntyre moves up to number 2. Gargano moves down to number 5. And Ciampa remains at number 7 with a no decision. Trent Seven defeated Ty Dillinger. Ciampa will move down a spot because Trent Seven moves up to number 7. And a fitting spot for Trent Seven, number 7. Dillinger moves down to number 4. Oney Lorcan defeated Roderick Strong, Angelo Dawkins, and Hideo Itami. McIntyre won as well, and Young lost. McIntyre becomes the number 1 contender. Lorcan moves up to 2. Young falls to 3. Angelo Dawkins falls to 15, but Bate lost as well, and so did Wood. So Roderick Strong moves up 2 spots, number 14. He took a no decision in his matchup. Itami remains at 13 with a no decision. Corey defeated Tyler Bate, so he moves into the top 5 at number 5. Bate falls to number 17. Cassius Ohno defeated Eric Young. In a non-title matchup, we already moved Young down, and Ohno is champion. And the top 5 contenders to the NXT Championship held by Cassius Ohno are number 1, Drew McIntyre, number 2, Oney Lorcan, number 3, Eric Young, number 4, Ty Dillinger, and number 5, Corey. And now we move on to main event. But we see Gerald in action one final time before he defends his Intercontinental title at SummerSlam. We will not, and so we will sim this card and get your results for main event. Elias defeated Enzo Amore. The Miz defeated Rusev, with Aiden English getting a no decision. And Big Cass, the Battle of the Behemoths, Big Cass defeated Braun Strowman. And we'll see how those results affect the rankings on Raw. And all these matches are in the Intercontinental title rankings. And so we will go there. Elias defeated Enzo Amore. Elias moves up to 14. Enzo falls to 24. The Miz defeated Rusev and Aiden English. That means Miz is the number 1 contender and will likely, and with Sheamus already defending the Raw Tag Team titles, means the Miz will almost guaranteed be Gerald's opponent for the Intercontinental title at SummerSlam. So that rivalry continues with the Intercontinental title matchup at SummerSlam between Gerald and the Miz. Rusev falls to number 7, and Aiden English remains at number 23 with a no decision. Big Cass defeated Braun Strowman. Cass moves up to 15. Strowman falls to 23, so Aiden English will actually get a free spot to number 22 with a no decision. In the top 5 contenders, the Intercontinental Championship held by Gerald. Our number 1, The Miz. Number 2, Sheamus. Number 3, Bobby Roode. Number 4, Xavier Woods. And number 5, Big E. And now we move on to 205 Live, where we see Andrew in action with one last opportunity to move up the rankings and potentially get a Cruiserweight title opportunity at SummerSlam. Now a full-fledged, full-time member of 205 Live, exclusive to 205 Live. And Andrew will not be in action. That means we will have our SummerSlam card revealed in this episode. Akira Tozawa defeats Tony Nese. Arya Daivari defeats Noam Dar and Rich Swann. Lince Dorado defeats TJP in non-title action. And we'll see how those rankings affect, or those results affect the 205 Live rankings. Akira Tozawa defeated Tony Nese. Tozawa moves up to number 2. Unfortunately, that means Andrew falls to number 3. Tony Nese falls to number 12. Arya Daivari defeated Noam Dar and Rich Swann. So Daivari moves up to number 4. I'll have to see who took the no decision in that matchup. It was Noam Dar taking the fall and no decision for Rich Swann. So Dar moves down to number 7 and Swann remains at number 11 with the no decision. Lince Dorado defeated TJP in non-title action. Dorado is champion and TJP remains at the bottom, number 14. So the top 5 contenders to the Cruiserweight Championship held by Lince Dorado are number 1, Brian Kendrick. Number 2, Akira Tozawa. Number 3, Andrew. Number 4, Arya Daivari. And number 5, Grand Metalik. Alright, so it's about time to see the SummerSlam card revealed. I will have to do something real quick before we do that. If I don't do this, I will not book a Cruiserweight match. So I'm going to set it up this way, and then once I see what it books for the Cruiserweight match, then I'll switch it over to Raw and SmackDown and rebook the Cruiserweight match. Alright, so the Cruiserweight matchup is Lince Dorado versus Brian Kendrick. And is there any stipulation? No holds barred. So now I'll switch it back. And now we get a look at the official card for SummerSlam. Asuka defends her Raw Women's Championship against Bayley. The Hardy Boys defend their SmackDown Tag Team Championships against the Colognes. It will be Gerald defending his Intercontinental title against The Miz as expected in a normal one-on-one matchup. Sheamus and Cesaro defend the Raw Tag Team titles against The New Day, represented by Big E and Xavier Woods. Charlotte defends the SmackDown Women's title against Mickie James and Sasha Banks. We have Bobby Roode and Brock Lesnar. And apparently the WWE title is not being defended, only the Universal title. So in place of the Lesnar and Roode match, we'll book the Cruiserweight match, and we'll probably have to move either one of the tag matches or one of the women's matches onto Raw or SmackDown to make room for Dalton and Shane McMahon. So that is, I'll make those edits off screen. That is going to do it for episode number 241 of WITM. Episode 242, it's time for SummerSlam with Dalton Roush in action against Shane McMahon in a tables match. If Dalton wins, he gets a one-on-one U.S. title opportunity. Until then, this is Corey, signing off.